All right, hello guys. I am back from my vacation, which means that I will be able to be streaming a lot more frequently as well as uploading. So here I am streaming day one. I've been kind of eager to stream. I've been missing it. I really do enjoy streaming and interacting with you guys a lot. So that's why I'm up, streaming the first day here. As I'm going to grab my phone real quick so that I can check the comments and everything. As always, as people are rolling in. We have our live subscriber count right here on the top right as we are increasing. Thank you very much. Likely you're in this stream, so thank you whoever you are. We're approaching 13,000, which is just amazing. So I really appreciate it. I'm going to check the comments real quick. I'm eating a chocolate, by the way, if you heard something. All right, what's up, guys? Landon Gamer said hello. I'm first. Welcome. Sports Weather, sup? What's up, dude? I see that Jason Tatum. Yeah, is that Jason? Yeah, so little on my screen. Jason Tatum, huge Celtics fan, right here. So welcome. I just turned off the game, or actually my internet went out for a second on my Xbox and it was streaming it, so I'm gonna have to actually get that back up real quick because I have it on mute. I just want to be able to see the score and everything. It's been a tight game. Kind of disappointed. Michael M. Hey, what's up, man? Everybody's saying hello. Welcome, everybody. This YouTuber is the bomb. Thank you, RandomCraft707. Perfect time to start just finishing up my dinner. Yeah, I usually stream a little bit earlier, but today I decided to go a little bit earlier. We're going to get right into this weather discussion for you people on YouTube. I know a lot of times you guys are really eager for me to get started because you're obviously watching this not live, so you don't really care about the interaction part, but I have to, interact with everybody. I hope we get lots of snow in Virginia Beach this year. Hey, Stephanie, I'm from Virginia Beach too. Small world. Looks like there could be above average snowfall, so that's the good news. Storm 101, you said you made a video about it. What did you make a video about? You the best. Thank you, Random Craft. Hi from Indiana. What's up? Hi from Enfield, Connecticut. I was just up in New England. Very beautiful up there. A big difference in temperature down here in Virginia. It was in the 60s today. At least when I got back. I got here about like 6 p.m., 5 p.m. So it's probably like lower 70s today, upper 60s. But it was, 50s was warm up there in New England. I got kind of used to it. So it felt kind of hot in the 60s today. It snowed today in Brookfield, Wisconsin. I made a video on it. Cool. Let's check it out. Jesse. We will definitely watch that. Where's you? Hopefully you guys can still see this in full screen. I'm going to put the video on full screen. Wow. Looks like moderate snow there. Cool stuff. This is what I want more of, like on my Twitter. If you guys haven't followed that already, you should. It's at Prime Patriots. I want to start doing a segment where you guys like send me in stuff for like recent weather that's happened to you, whether it be like snowfall or stuff like that. Could be a way for you to verify my forecasts for me and help me get, more accurate, as well as just a cool opportunity to see what's going on in the United States as far as weather. So definitely follow that, and I'm gonna start something like that, like viewers send in videos and then showing that at like the beginning, excuse me, the beginning or the end of every episode or something. I definitely want to do something like that. I also want to start a weekly series. I know I've mentioned this a lot in the past, but a weekly forecast. So seasonal, monthly, and then also weekly. That all on top of course, like an update for every storm or multiple updates. That is. So you won't be losing any content. You will just be getting more content, actually. I'm trying to get my stream back on, guys. I apologize. My NBA game I'm watching. Wow, it's getting pretty heavy there. Pretty good. Yeah, I know that snow is moving down into the northeast area. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment, this actual same system. I haven't been able to watch it too closely because obviously I've been on vacation, so I only have my phone. It's kind of harder to do it on the phone, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks, but you know, I have my computer up and running. Like I was able to get my computer running like every hotel, but when we were riding in the car, it was not easy. Master Chief, hey man, sorry I've been gone so long. It's hard maintaining a good GPA. No problems, man. You know, we're kind of laid back here on the stream, so if you're a moderator, it doesn't really matter. There's a very wet year in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Help with snowy winter in the East. And how do you do New Jersey gonna do? So that there's like not really a lot of correlation there, as far as I know, to like a wet East in the summer and fall and in the winter, if that's what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. So I don't know of a correlation between those two things. I know that if there's an El Nino in the fall would tend to be wet in those regions and also in the winter. So that could be kind of a correlation, but it's really just because obviously there's the El Nino. So doesn't really. Man, I saw tons of snow. Not for Wyoming, man. We need it. Do you know why the tropical cyclones in the invest areas are only numbered 90 through 99? I haven't been able to figure out why. Yeah, I don't really have an answer to that. That's an interesting question, though. And if you ever found an answer to that, I'd be really interested to hear, or if anybody else has an answer, that'd be really interesting because I've actually don't know the reason behind that. Casey Divine, hello, I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the channel. As good Celtics are still winning. Don't like to see them playing close against the Knicks like this. Very, very bad stuff. People don't like when I talk about sports, so I'm going to kind of avoid it, but it's kind of a big part of my life. Read the title, and I'm thinking, will it be snowy for Oklahoma or still the battle zone? Yeah, the battle zone basically means that you could see snow, and I still think you'll be in the battle zone, but it's not going to be like predominantly snowy as here in his video. It's getting very heavy snow. Yeah. A lot of these early year storms tend to be like really heavy snow for a little bit, which is really interesting. Be interesting to hear if any of that accumulated. Robert Malone, not going to answer that question. I'm watching a system that develops in Gulf, then goes up along the East Coast and GFS, and the GFS, CMC, and Euro. Yeah, we're watching two systems up the coast, possibly, maybe even three. How about them Browns, by the way? I've been liking the Browns this year. Just wanted to throw that out there. This will be fun to look at. A little bit of that. How do you feel New Jersey will do with snow this winter? I think you guys are going to do great. As I said in my new winter forecast, and if you guys haven't seen that, you should go check it out. But I think New Jersey could be a part of the bullseye, especially if you're in like a high elevation area. Like I know the northwestern portion of New Jersey, very high elevation. If you're there, you'll do probably really good. NOAA is inaccurate. So NOAA's winter forecast. I've actually been wanting to talk about this. I know another YouTuber that's pretty popular on YouTube here compared his winter forecast to NOAA's forecast, and I was going to do something similar, but since he did it, I decided not to, just because I knew people would, probably think that I'm copying him, so I avoided that. As a whole, I got like 5 comments today actually on my winter forecast about NOAA's winter forecast, like people being like, "Oh, that's funny considering that NOAA said this or that." My response to that, as I'm going to actually skip all the way to the bottom here. Sorry. Yeah. I think Boston will do this winter. I think Boston's going to do really well. Go check out my winter forecast for more information on that. But so NOAA's winter forecast, here's the problem that I have here. We're going to break this down. Well, first off, my main problem is if anybody can give me an example of NOAA being right on a winter forecast, or even remotely close to being right, let me know. I'll wait, because in my 8 years of being into weather and being a weather enthusiast, I have not seen them get a winter forecast correctly. Not once. They used the CFS model, and the problem that I have with the CFS model here is in the weather community, all my friends that I trust, a lot of college educated meteorologists that I trust, all know that the CFS is known for overdoing warm and underdoing cold. And for some reason, NOAA, their forecast tends to look exactly like what the CFS shows. And if it doesn't, it actually tends to just look like a typical El Nino. Because like here, the CFS is favoring more cold in the north. You kind of have to know how to look at the CFS and break down what it's actually going to probably be like, given what the CFS is showing. So really, we're looking at probably troughing in the northeast here. This looks a lot like my forecast, in my opinion, breaking this down. Now, it would have to get rid of this warm here, and this warm would need to be a little bit south, and I don't know what's going on right here. But besides that, I don't really have much problem, except for the fact that everything's about 2 degrees warmer than it needs to be. Right. I'm talking about I'm talking about the NOAA winter forecast right now. Now, a lot of people think, oh, so Direct Weather isn't college educated. He's not a real meteorologist. And I don't hide this. If you look at my About section on my YouTube channel, you can read more about what this actually is. I'm not a college educated meteorologist, and I never claim to be a meteorologist. You notice that I've never once said I'm a meteorologist or called myself chief meteorologist of Direct Weather or anything. I don't claim to be a meteorologist. I'm a weather enthusiast, and I know quite a bit about weather, I think, and I think I have quite a bit of experience as well with forecasting a lot of things, and I think I've proven myself as pretty good long range forecaster, or my formula at least that I put together. I can't take all the credit, but the reason that I'm successful more than a lot of big companies is because big companies are scared to be wrong. I have a little bit of fear of being wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'm not going to lose my job, because this isn't my job. I could get something wrong and get away with it here. I don't want to be wrong, because that's not going to lead to me being more successful than if I'm right. So obviously I want to be right, but I'm not. I will risk it, and I will make aggressive forecasts, and you're just not going to find that from any NOAA or Weather Channel or AccuWeather or anybody like that. you're not going to find that type of content, the type of content that you could get from somebody like me, or I know a few other people where you could also get similar content. Viewing from East Tennessee, winter thoughts for 2018 to 2019. My average is 11 inches. Yeah, I think you'll do really well this year. I think you'll get above average snow. Well, Idaho get lots of snow and cold weather. I think that you're going to have a warmer winter out there and a drier winter out there in Idaho. Obviously, you're going to get snow and cold, lots of both, but so yeah. I have problems with the CFS, and Noah loves the CFS. They use it a lot. You see these warm temperatures up here in the Northwest. They have it too. Now, they're not buying this, and they're not buying this either. They're not buying the East. They have different, but well, even if Bobby Livingston or Livingsworth, even if I did have 1 million subscribers, the worst that's going to happen is on YouTube is I'll have to come on here, and if I was consistently getting things wrong, yes, I would lose subscribers and I would lose viewers. People would, not not trust my YouTube stuff. But if I got one winter forecast wrong, that wouldn't be enough to set me back very much. Now, people would probably question my next winter forecast, but it wouldn't stop it from getting views. But if I was consistently getting things wrong, yes, eventually people would be like, okay, something's wrong here. Yeah, so the main problem I have with Noah is you can look at, if you search up weak El Nino winter, this is the problem that I have. If you look at, well, maybe not weak El Nino. I'll put just El Nino. It seems to me that this is what tends to happen. You look at an El Nino, just like any old temperature map of the United States under a typical El Nino, you're going to find that it looks a lot like their forecast this year. Suspiciously. Wet down here. That's like super typical El Nino. Wet, dry Northwest, dry lakes. That's typical El Nino stuff. This looks like an typical El Nino precipitation map. And that's just not how it works. It doesn't end up being this way ever. Now, if you put 50 El Nino winters together, it's going to look like this, but not one individual El Nino winter. That's the thing. Can you show the teleconnections? Yeah, I'll get there in a second. Do you think white Christmas chances look good? Well, right now we're off to an early start for the snowfall, so all I can say is, I guess, yeah, probably. It's really far out, so. And I think the Celtics are winning the game right now, so that's why I'm being quiet. They're going to try to get something going. NAO is going strongly negative. PNA is going strongly positive, and that's a good look too. Again, I forecasted in late September that we'd get into a cold pattern in the middle portion of October, and from that point on, I'll show you guys this just because I feel like I don't want you guys to think that I'm just saying this stuff. A lot of people were questioning my forecasting today, so that's why I'm kind of getting into this, but oh man, I need to really organize stuff. Every time I get into this, you guys, it's just like so much stuff going on here. Let's see. When will the cold? So I made this. Is there a date here? Okay. Date created October 2nd, 2018. Feel like I made one earlier. Uh, did I? I don't know. Okay, whatever. So I guess I made one in early October. But okay, yeah, this is it. So this is what I forecasted for the first week or two of October. In the comments right now, tell me if this looks correct or incorrect. I just wanted just want to ask. Does this look what do you guys think this looks right or not? For your area. Okay. So, see, that's first week or two, like I said. That's good. Now, after the 15th, this is what I forecasted for after the 15th. So, what do you guys think of this for after the 15th so far? Now, I think I could have taken the cold a little bit further east, but besides that, hey David, what's up? Yeah, I've been subscribed to your channel for a while as well. Thanks for subscribing, man. So yeah, I think this map is gonna do pretty well. Needs to. I think it could have been taken a little bit further east, but this looks pretty good. So again, before the 15th, then after the 15th, we see that cold moving to the east. Overall, it looks pretty good. And also, if you look at my October forecast, I know I probably don't need to prove anything to you guys. You guys are really, supportive and everything, but I just wanted to point this out. This is my temperature forecast. I put it in the middle because we're going to, over the course of the whole month, we're going to see the transition from west to east. So overall, these areas will stay below average the entire time, most likely. So that's why it's going to end up looking that way, I think. But if you look at my overall map, you can see cold early, average later, warm early, cold later, and wet first half in here. Below average precipitation for the Pacific Northwest, warmer than average for the Southwest, and then snowy in the mountains. So far, I think this is panned out quite well. No, my November forecast hasn't come out yet. I'm expecting to make that within the next 10 days, obviously, before November starts. So be on the lookout for that one. I hope to continue to have, just as good. Yeah, I can give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. I mean, obviously, the first week or so of November, we pretty much have down at this point. No, I don't think NYC will see flakes from these nor'easters, but I think there's a good chance that you'll be affected pretty well. David, I use Photoshop. I also, these maps, I know a lot of people ask about them, how they're made. I'm not going to give away exactly how I made them because I don't want people to make stuff that looks exactly like mine. I'll show you my most recent winter forecast just so you guys can see the updated version of it. Okay, right here. I kind of enhanced the borders a little bit here. So how I made my map, it's basically obviously just the real map of the United States, and I drew. So how Photoshop works is you need different layers, and you put stuff on top. If you've used it, you know how it works. There's multiple layers, and you put stuff on top of other things. Now, I then found borders, and I drew on the borders for the states and counties. And therefore, I put those on top of the colors that I put underneath. So the colors are underneath the borders for the counties and states, and then you can see that the map is underneath. So that's kind of how you would do it. And then this stuff up here, I made on my own just from scratch. It's just a bunch of squares and shapes that ended up looking really good, in my opinion. So kind of got lucky. If you work with the shadows a little bit, you can get it really good looking. So yeah, so NOAA's forecast, I was just getting into that. Just talking about NOAA's forecast. So I think that this looks like my problem with it is that it looks just like a typical El Nino weather map, and I feel like they get really lazy with their seasonal forecast sometimes. But I think it's not aggressive enough, and I really just don't think that they have a lot of success with their winter forecasts or have in the past. So thanks for the kind words, David. So let's get into the nor'easter portion of the video here. It's probably what a lot of you are here for. So yeah, so I don't really agree with NOAA's winter forecast to answer that question. And a lot of people, yeah, the basic answer is it looks like a basic El Nino, and it seems like they're mostly just taking this into account and kind of just going with that. And I don't think this will look like a typical El Nino year. I could kind of break it down here a little bit more just because I don't want to just say that and then not have any backing to that. I don't want to bore you guys, though. We do have 216 viewers right now. So just bear with me here. We're going to go over a few things really quickly. I posted on my Twitter, which you should follow. I do frequent posts. I post like 3 times a day or something like that with some pretty in-depth stuff as I get it. So I was talking about sea surface temperatures today. We have this warming area here south of Alaska. This is a really good sign for cold in the east because the jet stream would tend to go over this, obviously, which in turn creates ridging in the west, which usually leads to either a ridge over the entire United States or a trough in the east, one or the other. Now, obviously, there will be troughs in the west sometimes, but this really just, really enhances the chance of troughing in the east. So we'll typically get this look. As well, I wanted to look at, let's see, the 7-day difference. As we're seeing a lot of warming right here near Greenland. This is a really good sign for blocking. And we're seeing these regions of the PDO cool, which is really good as well as some El Nino regions cooling here. Just what we want to see. So everything's kind of getting better and better. Yeah, the PDO looked really confused earlier in the year, probably 2 months ago. But it's really, really, really started to look good. No, I don't have a Patreon page. So here we go. Let's get into the let's get away from the winter talk and move on to the nor'easters. Now, these look to be potentially quite major, actually. Pretty concerning stuff here. So we look at our vorticity here. You can see where the trough is. As I'm going to draw this on right here. So you can see where your trough is. That can't get any bigger. You can see we got something going on like this, and obviously this isn't upper air, so we'll see it a lot better. A general rule of meteorology is to start from the top up. You're going to get your answers here. So you see our ridge in the west, trough in the east, and then you see our southern jet stream coming in right here and meeting up. This is really a good signal for nor'easters, and this is also why we're seeing a lot of dry conditions here in the west. because none of these streams are going into it. So we kind of got a high pressure system. It's off the coast of California, but I'm just going to put that there just to remind you. So we have this kind of pattern going on, and this southern jet has been really persistent. This northern jet is why it's cold up here. And also we had kind of a clipper system move through Wisconsin, Minnesota, and it's kind of over this area right now. It's going to bring some snow to these areas, which we're going to talk about in just a second. So I hope this isn't too confusing. Bear with me. So we see our pattern here set up, and it kind of looks to persist. You see these again, northern stream dipping in, southern stream coming through Mexico, through Texas, and then into the Gulf states, and then the southern jet takes over, kind of. Now, the reason that this probably won't be a snowstorm is you can see that the northern jet isn't even really involved here. This is our main problem. The northern jet isn't involved. We don't really have, a substantial amount of cold going on. Slightly below average temperatures here. So we're talking maybe mountain snow here, folks. This does not look like a snowstorm to me as of right now. Now, the second one, though, we're going to see here in just a second. So this is where we're going to see a little bit more information. You see, there's our trough, and here's our first chance at a nor'easter. Again, watch it follow this southern jet. Remember, the southern jet is going through Mexico into Texas, and you can see this precipitation and even here on this, you can see the southern jet right here through Mexico, through Texas, through the Gulf states, and out the eastern United States. You can see it right here on satellite. So we can see where the moisture is tracking from. Now we have our, it looks like a Pacific tropical system here. Then the energy kind of just breaks up and transfers into the Gulf here. And this is where our Miller A type nor'easter develops and moves over Florida and then up the East Coast. And right now it's not connecting, this first one. Here's our, let's see. As I go here. So here's our jet. Looks like a single jet right now as that storm goes by. So here's our jet. It's going too fast. Now, if it goes this fast, it's not going to catch that wind pattern, and it's not going to really hit the East Coast. So you see right here, I'm going to draw again just to get more information across. We have this air mass, which is rotating in this direction, is moving in. But our storm here is going to go out to sea and not even head in. Now, let's hypothetically pretend that we have our storm hitting 12 hours later. Very possible. Very possible. Again, all we need is it to slow down a little bit. This is 204 hours out, folks. So things like this happen a lot where we can't get the timing right, and it's kind of a struggle. So again, now let's pretend the storm is now right here, just that much further behind. Then we're looking at more of a storm trying to go straight towards New England because we have our rotation right here. That's where it would carry it in. Now, it's a lot that needs to happen, but it's very possible. I think there's just as good of chance of it hitting New England as there is of it going out to sea at this point. 50-50. Why does the Weather Channel say that the Northeast is going to be above average temperatures this winter, but you say the opposite? Well, because they copy and pasted NOAA's winter forecast. That's why. I see a lot of that. A lot of people were tweeting me like ABC News winter forecast. Again, it was just a copy and paste of NOAA's winter forecast. That's just people being lazy and using other people's forecast because they're allowed to use NOAA's forecast and just, show the same exact thing. I don't think they mention that it's NOAA's forecast. They might, though, but it certainly is. Yeah, I know I'm on 12Z. I wanted to kind of break everything down run by run. So that was the 12Z. Now, moving on to the 8Z. I just wanted to show the 12Z because no, I don't think Noah's right, obviously, because their forecast disagrees with mine. I'm not just going to be like, oh, Noah's right, I'm wrong, I guess, and then just switch my forecast all of a sudden. That'd be hilarious, though. Um, can't predict 48 hours out. Thinks this is even close. Well, sir, I'll have you know that I can predict 15 days in advance, as I was just talking about a second ago. If you're talking about me, you might be talking about Noah. In which case, I think they can also forecast a few weeks out. But I'll have you know that I pretty much I'm not even going to get into it, but I broke down the fact that I'm pretty much nailing my October forecast right now. So, yeah. So yeah, I can forecast quite a bit better, quite a bit further than 48 hours out, buddy. Just saying. So we look at our upper air pattern here. Again, it's going to turn into a single stream pattern. If you watch my west video, it kind of merges right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I haven't seen the 18Z yet. I knew something would be going on since you guys. $500 subscribers with no video. You can't predict 15 days out. Well, I did, so I don't know what to tell you besides I did, and I have before. I wouldn't do it if I couldn't. Obviously, there's a big difference between forecasting an exact forecast and a broad forecast. A broad forecast would be more like a seasonal forecast, saying like above average temperatures or below average temperatures, something like that. Obviously, if you're trying to forecast that 2 weeks out, like if you're trying to forecast it's going to be 76 degrees with light snow 15 days in advance, you can't do that. But I can easily say there's a chance for a low pressure system that could be quite strong heading up the East Coast in 15 days. That's very, very easy to forecast. And it's got about a 60 to 70% success rate there. Maybe more sometimes, maybe less in some cases. But in my case, as of right now, I have a above 50% success rate forecasting monthly forecasts and such as of recently. So just wanted to mention that. So we see, here's the difference that I'm seeing. I want to see, make sure this is what we're thinking of here, or what I'm thinking of. Okay. Yeah, so we get our storm a lot closer. Now, what happens here is I'm breaking this down. So right here, we see that there's a merging jet stream. I don't think in the 12Z, it's yeah. So you see, it's not as well merged here, and I think we get it a bit. Did we get it earlier or later in the 18Z? So okay, so it moves faster on the 18Z, which is weird. So I think that this should show less chance at snow. Oh, okay, so pretty good chance at snow. Let me read the comments here because they're flying in like no tomorrow. You can't predict an hour out. Okay, so that's a joke, clearly. They got 22 and I got 5 inches. Well, that wasn't my forecast. So I don't know how you can blame me for that. I apologize that they got it that wrong. Snow is hard to forecast, though, compared to a broad forecast like what I do. So don't you think they call these forecasts because they know they manipulate the weather and that's what they're going to do to make it anyway? If you're talking about NOAA, now a lot of people think that people manipulate weather. So, hold on. Sorry, I got a text. So, a lot of people think that NOAA manipulates weather. And my response to that is, don't you think that they would actually be accurate if they manipulated the weather? I mean, after all, they would know what's going to happen. I mean, they're almost, as far as seasonal forecasts go, they're pretty awful. So I think to that I say they would be far more accurate than they are. You can't say that there will be a low pressure system 15 days in advance. That's too far out. So, 5,000 subscribers in those videos. I think you're probably a kid, or you just don't know what you're talking about, one or the other. Not to be rude, but we have these model guidance, and also you're probably thinking maybe you're into weather and you look at weather models and you just look at MSLP and just the precipitation type, and you're like, how could you predict where this low pressure system is going to be? But I know a deeper level of forecasting than that. That's not how I forecast. I'm looking at the upper air and these patterns. They have all the models, even the European, have this single stream and then the merging, and they have this, a lot of precipitation coming in here, and they have back-to-back nor'easters going up the East Coast. This is a strong signal for nor'easters on the East Coast, and there's, like I said, a 60 to 70% chance that we will be seeing these. And there's probably about a 90% chance that there will be a nor'easter. There's just a there's about a 50% chance that it goes up the East Coast, 50% chance that it goes out to sea. But the chance that there will be a low pressure system of some sort is, really good chance. And I mean, out of the two, just getting one, I mean, your chances are almost, extremely good. Have you talked about Alaska so far? Anchorage has no snow, but purely rain. As of right now, I only forecast for the continental United States, unfortunately, but I plan on expanding and adding Canada and Alaska next year. That's something that I was holding back from everybody, but that's kind of a surprise. I meant how above average terms. I like to believe, but reality, everything is subject to be what is relevant to the 72 hour. Yeah, I don't really know what you mean there, but nevertheless, seasonal forecasting, monthly forecast, weekly forecasting is all very possible as long as you're not doing an exact forecast, like I said. For instance, since I must point this out, I pointed this out to the earlier viewers. Clearly, you guys weren't here. So, and you can see when the file was made. My October forecast was made on September 27th, 2018 at 2:25 p.m. Or sorry, yeah. Okay. So here you can see cold early, warm average later, warm early, cold later. This forecast is turning out to be correct and looks like it is going to be correct. And you can see my snowfall forecast looks almost exactly like what we had happen. We've had a lot of surprise snow in these areas that are east of the Rockies. Not typical. I forecasted that. And also we had some snow in these areas, I think 2 times now, which also isn't typical. So I forecasted that out almost a month at this point. You can see that my September forecast, I did get one thing wrong, more rainy than average out here. And also I called for below average temperatures there. So this area, the Four Corners state, I did get wrong. But everything else, I pretty much got right, except also no dry conditions here. So the September forecast was less of a success story than the rest, but I did succeed in a lot of areas during that forecast. Here, I'll actually look at the September forecast here. Okay, so the temperature forecast, like I said, below average temperatures actually ended up being further north up here. So it wasn't a complete failure there. It's just I miscalculated where it would actually be at. So the area should have been a bit further north. And then this warm temperature completely got that correct. Could have extended it further south, but yeah. Yeah, that was pretty darn accurate. So I even compared that forecast. You could have seen it in a different video. Then as well, I called in one more example just to get my point across. I made this one, I think the 3rd of October, we said. I'll show you just because I don't want anybody to think that I just made this or something. So you can see there the 2nd of October. And here's my temperature forecast. This will likely end up being pretty close to exact. This one. Maybe this little tail could have been taken out, but not a lot of planning to do there. So you can see that's after the 15th. And here's before the 15th. And according to almost everybody here and myself and all the weather anomalies or temperature anomalies that I've seen, so I actually know where I got right and where I got wrong. I just wanted to make sure everybody agreed that this, I completely got this correct as well. So right now my formula works really good. How does the constant spring affect snowfall? I agree, Chase. Maybe put slow chat on. I don't know what that means. Sorry to bug you, but will Minneapolis get snow? Well, this year they will, for sure. So 5,000 subscribers with no videos commented. Somebody deleted it, but I do want to mention it. You shouldn't be mentioning weather events that are more than 10 days out. People will overhype it, not including seasonal forecast. Yeah, so I think that temperatures can be mentioned that far out, but not weather systems. You see, the thing that I'm talking about is 7 days out, so you're just wrong. That's all I'm saying. See you, Christopher. Is AccuWeather accurate at all? Please answer. I gotta know. Sometimes, but their seasonal forecasts are kind of broad. So the November forecast should be out within the next 10 days. When will Long Island see first snow? I don't know. Probably December. So I use the Google Plus built in. It's like the simple YouTube streaming. Tim B. Actually, the National Weather Service would be your best bet for daily forecasts. I think that's where you're going to get your most accurate forecast from. Besides that, like local weather forecasts vary. So it could be good, could be bad. Just reading comments here. Do you use OBS Studio for streaming? I use it more my live streams. No, so I'll show you actually. Just because I feel like being helpful here. So when you go to set, it's really hard to get to it actually. But I go to settings, additional features, and then live streaming. Because this is how I like back in the old days, I used to stream like 4 years ago or something. This is how it always used to be. Their new streaming, you can't do screen share, so that's like the big problem with it, obviously. So you have to go to events, and then new event, and then you do quick using Google Hangouts on Air, and you can do screen share from there. And it's really easy. It's like built in. You don't have to download anything because I know OBS, like you have to get the software, and my computer's not very good, so it doesn't run it really well. But this is like, it's not as high quality, so it runs a lot better, and I can get my point across. When you're just making a winter forecast or a weather video, it's not, too, it's not too important to have like high quality video or anything. So. What do you think Northwest and North Carolina will have for temps/weather for the next week? Thanks. Yeah, I think you'll have below average temperatures, kind of, swaying a little bit. It could get warm on a couple of days. We're going to have warm ups in between those troughs. And possibly rainy towards the end of the week, but we're going to have to watch that. Well, Southwest, I guess not, but maybe. Who's your favorite Pats play? I'm guessing you're saying player. Okay, yeah, player. Like right now, I'm gonna go with like not Tom Brady because that's kind of cheating if you think about it. Because like obviously like Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time, so it would be like everybody's favorite. So it's more interesting to not say Tom Brady. So I'd say Gronk right now, but like all time, maybe like Lawyer Malloy. I love safeties, so. Can you please show them my YouTube channel? I saw you show Jesse Philbrandt channel. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, well, David Schlotauer, I guess. I've searched you up before, probably. No? Every time I search up your channel, like it's like hard to find. I feel like. Oh no. I'm thinking of somebody else. So this is his channel. I believe you're from California, right? So you forecast a lot for there, but I mean, you do a really good job of like forecasting for everywhere, even though that's not where you live. So. So yeah, you should check out his channel. Really cool stuff. So I have 4 notifications. And what is this? Messages. This is like I have 4 messages and then none. That's so sad. This guy can't use Twitter but can predict the weather. What do you mean by that? I can't use Twitter. Yes, I can. Watch me. Watch me. I'll use Twitter right now. What state do you live in? I live in Virginia. Okay, yeah, I do want to get back into the Nor'easters because it got like super sidetracked. A bunch of trolls got in here. So we're looking at basically overall, we have a really good setup for Nor'easter, like classic setup here. Yeah, I own weather models, or not own, but I have a subscription to weathermodels.com, so I can access the European model whenever I like. I just don't like to show it because it's kind of like you can get I think you can get like in trouble for showing it. But yeah, we're gonna have to watch the trough. It could move west, but right now the teleconnections are moving in a good direction. And it looks like overall the trough's gonna stay mostly in the east for November, I want to say. But I haven't done a lot of work on my November forecast yet, so it could change completely. Uh, so right now we have this southern jet moving right here, and then we have our northern jet right here. So with this look, you would think typically that's not going to go up the east coast, but looks like it likes to. Yeah, it kind of makes its own decision there. Very interesting stuff. Must have support here. Yeah. Okay, so we have our nor'easter. Not as close as you'd want it to be to the coast yet. Um, okay, a lot of comments just rolled in, so well, it's now in PA. Do you think this winter will be comparable to 2014 2015 for Massachusetts? Yes, but take away like I don't know, like 50 inches of snow, and then you'll have it because it's not going to be like a record-tying snow year for you guys, most likely. I don't. That's one of those records that might not ever be broken again. So you have 50% certainty with a storm 7 days out. Yeah. So I have I have far more than 70% certainty that there will be some sort of low pressure system uh, in the eastern United States or the Atlantic around the 27th. I have a lot more than 50% certainty of that. With this look, with this classic look, you know, you have over 70% chance of a storm at some point when the models are showing that kind of signal. Again, when we have this southern jet just moving straight in, and then the northern jet here, it's really likely that you have a low pressure system here at some point, and they show back to back to back storms because it's so favorable right around this time frame. So this is 7 days out, 150 hours. This isn't considered long range yet. This is medium range. 240, in my opinion, hour 240 is when it becomes long range. But before this is medium range, and then within 2 days is your short range forecasting. That's when you'll switch to short range models or mesoscale models and not these types of models anymore. We have our storm. Now, I want you to take this with a grain of salt because this one looks like it's going to be bad. That one as well. Looks like it could be a snowstorm. And then we have our trough move to the west for a bit. Looks to move back to the east, though. But before the... Looks like right up until November 1st, and then the trough likes to move to the west. But now we're talking pretty far in, so we'll have to see. Take that with a grain of salt here. We're going to look at our precipitation type just because this will be a little bit more understandable for a lot of you. VA, I lived in Chesapeake for a while. I love Chesapeake. So beautiful out there. Please explain solar minimums. I can't really get into that in this video because it would take me so long. I have a discussion here that I want to stick with. There's another one behind it. Yeah, so again, we're looking at 2 to 3 storms here. Pennsylvania is supposed to notice cold winter this year, says all the YouTube channels. Is this correct? This is what I'm calling for. Yeah. I'm just hoping my models are correct. Yeah, somebody. Yeah. XX Tornado US to be monetized. Just show you if you show up and contribute to the stream consistently when I stream, I'll certainly mod you. But I don't like to mod people on just one stream because you haven't really proven that you're going to be a consistent viewer or anything. So our first nor'easter here, see, it likes to hug the coast a lot more. And then we have our Miller B follow it up. And then possibly another one, again, around November 1st. And then November 5th-ish, it looks to put one here. Now that's kind of getting in the range where I could agree that we can't even really take that into account very much. Yeah, everybody wants to be modded. So what's interesting is we get this one from our southern jet and then this one from our northern jet. So looking at the dynamics here, see the rotation. It could hug a lot closer, honestly. Could really hug a lot closer, but it doesn't. I honestly see this first one going out to sea. I don't see that one. So what is this so-called Arctic Warrior Zone they're talking about for us this year? Honestly, I've never heard of that in my life. He was about to admin, he can't predict the weather. Face reveal. On my Twitter, I posted pictures of what I look like, actually. So at Prime Patriots, if you go follow that. So yeah, no, I wasn't about to admit that I can't predict the weather. Just the weather model at 384 hours can't really predict a single low pressure system that consistently. So the model can't predict that far out very consistently. But yeah, I've proven to be pretty good at predicting the weather. If you ask a lot of people in here. But I plan on continuing to prove myself. I don't want to obviously stop. So you won't believe me until you probably actually listen to my forecast and then see what happens. My hip and knee predict the weather. I, 'cause, 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 ' So yeah, if you want to see what I look like, you could go to that Twitter. For now, I don't see a real reason to put my face on here. Is this winter going to be worse for NYC than last year? I do think so. I do think so. I do want to switch to the GFS FV3, which likes to put the storm out a little bit sooner. Now, this one is a test model, so this one isn't very proven yet. So we want to take this with a huge grain of salt. But yeah, so okay, so the second one it shows is a snowstorm. I see. So yeah, so this is definitely not what I think. This is just a wild model run. Let's see. So with our 27th storm, okay, so most of that falls before even any of the nor'easters that we're talking about happen. So, and then this looks like a glitch. Yeah, that looks like a glitch. A lot of these models glitch sometimes and show, yeah. So what you saw there in southern New Hampshire and southern Massachusetts was kind of a glitch. What part of Virginia you're from? I'm from Eastern Virginia. Yeah, Raul Ramirez 17. I've been seeing that as well. I was talking about that in the uh earlier in this chat, way earlier in this chat actually. So I can talk about that again actually. So I was talking about the fact that we have below average sea surface temperatures here now, and it looks like a true Molokai right now. True Molokai though would have most of those sea surface temperatures here, so this is still looking a little iffy. This is just perfect south of Alaska. I'm telling you, it doesn't get better than that. South of Greenland, this could be a bit warmer. We'll live with this though. We can live without the blocking with this kind of pattern. It looks so good. What's the chances of a strong El Nino? Less than 1%, I would say. Less than 1%. But I'd rather not give his city or town he lives in. Why don't I just give you all my address while I'm at it? Just so you can be extra sure you know where I live. So that you can, I don't know. Winter going to be bad in South Central Kentucky? Yes, I think so. Yeah, we do call this a blob. We had something very similar in 2014 and 2015. I prefer not to say that because it sounds unprofessional. Like, yeah, we have a blob. You know, people are like, what? What's this guy talking about? A blob? But yeah, that is a term that we use. Yes, the blob has returned. Was it 2013 to 2015 or 2013 to 2014? Hold on. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So this was not the year. Um, that was January 2016. What the heck? Yeah, so you see we had this blob, very similar look. And again, I've been talking about 2014 to 2015 for months now as my number one analog, and it just keeps looking better. I have already in previous streams looked at AccuWeather's forecast. I can already tell you, I've kind of memorized it. They don't really forecast temperatures and they don't really forecast precipitations. They just kind of come up with these broad terms that you can't really prove right or wrong, so that their forecast will either way be right. So that's the problem that I have with them. So 2014 to 2015, breaking it down. This was, what was this date? Okay, so this was 24. This was June. Um, I guess this is gonna be the best I can get here. So we have even more of a blob than this because this is looks to be somewhere in that range, 2 to 3 degrees above average. Right now we're maxing out at like 4 or 5. We're somewhere over here. We're somewhere over here right now. So we have way warmer temperatures, but right here is the most important part. This really enhances ridging there, which again would usually uh, encourage a trough for the eastern United States, given that there's a negative AO right here. As I drew that too little, negative AO. So there's negative AO. We're going to see that cold try to go somewhere, and it's not going to be where this is. Let me just put it that way. It's not going to be where those warm waters are. That's why you see the troughing in the east. It's not going to want to go there. It would not want to do that. So we see this ridge and a trough when we have the negative AO set up. And then this year you can see we had it looks to be for the most part a positive NAO. And I love this example because a lot of people pay way too much attention to the NAO. A lot of times you can have a positive NAO and you can get snowstorms for the southeastern United States, and so it's not as important as people think. It really helps, don't get me wrong, but let's see here. The mountains in Montana, Colorado, and Utah are seeing significant snowfall for this time of year. What gives? Yeah, I was forecasting that in my fall forecast. A lot of moisture and colder air so far this fall has led to that, but it's heard of. So yeah, Michael Zimmerman. That sounds a lot more professional. And I pretty much usually say something pretty similar. Now that I'm thinking about it too much, it doesn't feel natural anymore. But if the temps on the East Coast are warm, would that mean less snow? Like for the entire winter? No, not necessarily. I know a lot of warm winters that had above average snowfall in the East, so not necessarily. But if it's warmer on a day, then you're likely not going to see snow that day. But that's just how it is. Will this be like winter of 2014 to 2015? I think so. 2002 to 2003, one of my year for my analog. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that analog year. And it was never like one of my super big analogs, but now that I think about it, I might have to take a look just because a lot of people that I trust a lot, a good friend of mine, James Rinaldi. I don't know if anybody knows knows who that is, but he's a lot older than me. He's somebody that I look up to a lot as far as meteorology goes, and as a person, a great guy. Even when I was a kid, he would help me learn so much about weather. I've probably learned more from him than almost anybody has taught me about weather. So I really appreciate him. He likes the 2002 to 2003 analog a lot, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that. How did you gain almost 10,000 subscribers in a month? And I've gained 1,000 a month. I don't know, honestly. I think it has a lot to do with my. I don't upload a lot. I think comparatively to you, yeah. So you upload more than me, more consistently, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what it is about my videos, but sometimes they just end up getting hundreds of thousands of views. Maybe good thumbnails or something. But you know, over the past month, my preliminary winter forecast part 2 came out, October forecast. So that one got 272,000, 9,000, 36,000, 13,000, 6,000, 12,000, 2.6 thousand, 4,000, 1.7 thousand, 45,000, etc. So you get those kind of views. I guess it's just bound to happen. As for how I get all those views again, I don't really know. What's up with the purple skies in Florida after hurricanes? And just the other day, same thing in Texas, purple sky slash rain. Yeah, a lot of weird things can happen. So, um, trying to see this comment right now. Pounding noise in the background. I don't really know. How much snow do you think that Columbus, Javen, if you have to delete his comments that much, you can just ban him from the channel. Because he's been kind of trolling this entire video or not really adding to the conversation, so you can go ahead and ban him. Um, so yeah, to recap everything, we have our positive PDO here looking really good. Again, this I'm gonna try to write this as little as possible so that it's actually distinguishable. So positive PDO. How long do you think the warm blob will last? Well, usually they last like a long time. Uh, it's been around for a while, kind of dissipated for a little bit, but the PDO runs on a 15-year increment, I believe. So 15 years positive, 15 years negative, but it's it kind of fluctuates a little bit during those cycles, but for the most part, it's mostly positive for 15 years, mostly negative for 15 years. We've been in the positive phase and we're due for it to switch to negative soon, which will lead to a lot of colder winters in the West, I believe. Is 1996 a good analog year? Mike M. This is direct weather. You clicked on my video, so I think so. JJD. I think Ohio is going to see a bad winter. So we have our positive PDO. I'm going to talk about 1996 in just a second. So right now we also have cooler waters in the Eastern Pacific, and really for the most part, we have some cooler sections in this area, which is good. And then our warmest sections, excuse me, are in this area. This area can kind of be attributed to the PDO mostly, but we'll include it in the El Nino. And then here, so we have our it's so hard to write on this. Nino, yeah, and then like squiggly wiggly there. Okay, cool. So El Nino, and then we have our cooler water. So this would be Molokai El Nino, central based El Nino, that type of thing. Yeah, David, that's completely correct. That warm blob does, like I said, I'm gonna put the jet stream into motion here in just a second. Actually, I can start it. So our jet stream will average out looking to go over this, and then colder for the eastern half. Now, we could. Oh, shoot. Okay, I was about to say I did not want to delete all that. We have our AMO, which is looking positive. We have these warm waters. This creates a lot of strengthening for a lot of snowstorms, a lot of nor'easters that head through this area. So that's crucial. And then we have our positive NAO right here. So this is one of the only bad things for the east right now, as well as a few other things, but for the most part, that looks to be the worst. But I think, how long have I been streaming for? Jeez, it's 11 o'clock. I feel like I've only been streaming for like an hour. We have our ridge here. Again, trough in the east. And then it's going to try to go right over this. Ideally, with these warm waters, this is what you would want to happen. This can create for a deadly setup. And then with the El Nino, we kind of have our southern stream doing this. So this is a deadly, deadly, deadly setup, I think. I think it is going to be a rough winter. The blocking ridge sucks for the west. It brings the worst drought to the west, such as California. Yeah, really bad news. Again, I typically talk about how you see this split jet stream for California. That's not a good look because usually you have a high pressure system out here that splits the two, and then you have no systems moving on shore. I think you know this already. I respect you a lot, so I know you know this. I'm just saying this for the other viewers. And then a lot of times it's good when you get this single stream to kind of move into the west, whether it be the northern portions or the strong southern stream. But with the system we have right now, this would be weak. But if we had a strong southern stream moving into here, you'd get a lot of moisture in California. You're well aware of this. So Northeast going to be bad for the Northeast? Yeah, I think so. What do you mean deadly setup? I think that a lot of good chances for great snowstorms in the east. That's what I mean for deadly setup. Big snowstorms out here. Random craft. Yeah, you should go to bed, man, if you got school in the morning. It's way more important than a stream. We need storms this winter, but nope, the warm blob has to redevelop. Well, luckily, David, I think that Southern California and maybe even in Northern California a little bit are going to at least have average precipitation. Now, as long as you can get average precipitation, I think that we're moving in the right direction. and we're going to get into a negative PDO phase. I think within the next 5 years, we'll definitely be looking at a lot more negative PDOs. That's when the real change is going to happen, and we're going to see a lot more rain for California. See ya, I am Vessel. It's been great having you. 2009, 2010 repeat is coming. Well, I guess I think that a lot of the teleconnections here look a lot different than 2009 to 2010. Specifically this area. We had very favorable conditions here in Greenland. Just absolutely amazing blocking here, which led to something. Whoops. Which led to like the craziest blocking type pattern here, which usually does something like this. Makes the jet stream do this. When you get that negative tilt, these storms just demolish these areas. So that's what's a lot. There's a lot of differences. Yeah, I think a lot of coastal regions will do really well either way. That's the good news, because whether we have there's no such thing as too much cold for coastal regions usually. Regions along the seaboard. Usually, where you have to worry about that is areas inside this circle, where there's too much cold. That could potentially happen. But outside the circle, you get a lot of good snow opportunities, no matter how much cold there is, really. So, David, the good news is the CFS model is really not very good. so, so that's the good news. If you look at the temperatures, it's just ridiculous. Say warmer temperatures, you usually see something like this, and the temperature patterns are driven by these 500 millibar patterns. So we have to assume that the 500 millibar pattern will likely be ridiculous. Therefore, the precipitation forecast looks quite ridiculous. I think that it's not very ridiculous, actually, now that I think about it. I think that this dry area could be moved, in my opinion, to more of the Oregon, Washington, excuse me, Oregon, Washington area, because these areas mostly get a lot of precipitation in La Nina winters. So every time there's an El Nino winter, typically we see below average precipitation for these areas. You're smarter than me at weather, Tom Tucker. I love Family Guy. I had a 10-hour car drive today, or I was not driving; I was riding in the car. We I watched a lot of Family Guy to like pass the time. So yeah, yeah, a lot of big snowstorms for the eastern United States, I think. Uh, Mr. Sir, I don't know. What about Long Island? I think that you're gonna have above average snowfall and below average temperatures. Let's see. Yeah, So likely this will look like a typical El Nino forecast, like I say about NOAA all the time. Yeah. You see? Above average precipitation for the typical El Nino areas. Dry, dry. And this is basically what they're actually saying for the winter if you think about it. Just like a little bit more suppressed than this. But that's a great point. Raul Ramirez. This looks exactly like it. And this plays into my point exactly. They're really lazy with their forecasts. By the way, guys, this didn't end up being like this at all. So this is another one of their failed forecasts. One of their many failed winter forecasts. David, like a lot of, like in my opinion, I know you do some long range forecasting. By the way, I'd love to see more of that. I noticed in your long range forecasting that you show a lot of like you'll just like show no, I think you're who I'm thinking of, but you show a lot of NOAA's forecasts and just talk about that. But I'd like to see like you make your own maps and like really show what you're thinking. That would be super cool. Also, I think that gets you more views as well, by the way. But I'd certainly like to see that because I respect your opinion a lot. But maybe I'm wrong about you using NOAA's forecasts. I don't really remember. So the Jamstack is a bit better than the CFS, but it has similar issues. Where it kind of just it's all over the place. I don't really agree with all this dry. If you've seen my forecast, I don't know if you've seen my winter forecast. You should certainly check it out, though. Yeah, you should certainly check it out so you can see what I think. El Nino is warm, right? Yes. Yeah, Jamstack, I agree. Storm 101. But what I was gonna get at, for seasonal forecasting is I don't think that models should be used very much. I think you should take these with a grain of salt. And honestly, I come up with my forecasts like a draft of my forecast, and then I look at the models and I see what they're thinking if they're seeing similar things. Because it's very tempting to just take these too much into account when they're not very proven. There's not really a good seasonal forecast model at this point. And honestly, using the European model on 46 days for monthly forecasts is going to have a lot more accuracy than any of this stuff can get you at this point. So Mike M, I noticed the water temps in San Diego have been above normal this year. What impact does water temp have on the weather? It has a ton of impact. Yeah, it basically drives most everything. The sun and the weather and the water temperatures drive all the weather patterns that we know of. So your waters here are going to be considered the PDO region. So, like I said, above normal waters here would lead to troughing in the east most of the time and ridging in the west. And the opposite, colder waters, would lead to more cold temperatures in the west and warmer temperatures in the east. Larry 21. Good evening. One question I have is, how is this winter panning out for southeastern United States, specifically Atlanta, Georgia? Looks like there's an above average chance at seeing snowfall for you this year, similar to 2014 to 2015. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that. But it looks to be colder and more snowy than most years. The snowy is in better chance for snow because obviously it's not going to be like overall snowy for you. That would be ridiculous. Ridiculously awesome. Well, Michael Zimmerman, I do disagree. It's very possible that it could be warm in the east. These seasonal forecasts, my seasonal forecasts, tend to have about a 60 to 70% success rate, and that's like exact success rate. So if something like this were to pan out to happen, I would consider that a moderate failure, and that would fall also under that 30% left over from the 70%, obviously. So I think I've looked at the possibility for above normal temperatures for the entire United States, as that can happen in El Nino winters. So we need to watch that. But yeah, 2016, 2017, 2017 to 2018 were great examples of warmer than average winters with a lot of snow in the east for a lot of people. So Storm 101, do you not have subscribers? I know when didn't have subscribers, I would only get like 1 or 2 viewers. You have to just push through it, man. You just got to keep streaming. I used to get, 1 to 10 viewers. 10 viewers if I was talking about like a super juicy topic like Blizzard coming for the East Coast or something crazy like that. I'd get like 10 viewers. But on a basic live stream, I get about 1 viewers. It's all about staying enthusiastic and acting like you're getting a lot of viewers. Act like you're, be super enthusiastic. If you're not super enthusiastic, then you shouldn't stream in the first place. But you just got to push through, man. In August of this year, I had 300 subscribers. I had 300 subscribers. And if you look at the top right corner, in 2 months, I have 12,929 subscribers. So, anything's possible. It's all about staying enthusiastic, staying positive, and just sticking with it, being consistent. Mike M., thanks for the kind words. What about far east Pennsylvania, Quakertown area? Yeah, you could be looking at above average snowfall this winter. Looks like a lot of big snowstorms possibly, so quite the opposite of last winter. Also pretty far below average temperatures as well. Thanks, Javen Chase. Yeah, I haven't asked I haven't asked the viewers to subscribe or like the video at all during this entire live stream this time, which is very not like me. So, thanks, Javen, for making sure I stay on top of that. When are you gonna make your final winter forecast? Yeah, I think right around the end of November time. MBGC combo. Hey man, what's up? Can the Southeast see a lot of flooding this year? It's possible with the El Nino. It just depends how many nor'easters and storm systems we see enter the area. So we need to see how active it is. As of right now, we have the signals. MBGC combo. Yeah, I love your content, man. I really do keep up with it. I know I don't comment all the time, but I definitely like to watch your videos a lot. You remind me a lot of me in a way, of how I used to be. So yeah, I think that's why I'm so fond of you. Also, the accurate weather forecasting certainly helps. So we have our southern jet here. This is what could lead to flooding long term if we have back-to-back storms hit this area. You know, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama are really susceptible at this point to flooding and need to be kind of on high alert through the next couple weeks. Ohio State just lost to Purdue. What the heck? That is the dumbest thing ever. That's kind of one of my favorite teams, so that kind of hurts. Do you live in the East? Yes. Does El Nino increase chance of nor'easters? Yes, it does. What's the point of the FV3 GFS or whatever it's called? Yeah, so this is the old GFS, and this is the GFS actually that's gonna be the new one. In January, they're updating the model and bringing a new one. So they're testing this one right now, this GFS version, and they're actually going to update this one a little bit more before January, I believe, and then release it and retire the old GFS. So essentially, this GFS is going to replace the old one. That's why it's so important that we make sure that this one is good or not. We need to see if the GFS is actually going to be a reliable model from now on or not. It brings a lot more interesting things to the weather community for sure, having a new model. The European has always been what a lot of people would consider the King Euro. It's just the best model out there. I'm a believer that the European model is just far superior. So there's a reason you have to pay for it. Hey, is Upper Tennessee getting snow? This winter, yeah, I think so. Hello from Iowa. What's up, man? Mike M, what is more accurate, the European or NOAA model? I've never heard of the NOAA model, but certainly the European. The European is the most accurate model in the world. So, yeah, 4 big nor'easters in 3 weeks. Can we see something like this this coming March? I think it's possible that one of the months will, but I think that it's going to stay a pretty consistent pattern of nor'easters and storms in the east. So I don't think it's going to actually be just in 1 month. I think that it's going to be spread out through the entire winter, or at least the second half. MBGC combo. When are you going to make like your final winter forecast? Just curious. I want to know like what other YouTubers are doing as far as their timings. Will Iowa get snowstorms? Most likely, yeah. CFS, I never go by the CFS. Sometimes I pay attention to the weeklies here, but yeah. Besides that, yeah, I'm not buying the CFS monthly at all. I'll take a look though, just to tell you what I think. Yeah, so okay. Yeah. So Tom Tucker. Gotta love it. If you're always in the stream, I'll be so happy. Actually, you know what? I'm moderating you. Tom Tucker. That's it. I know I said I don't moderate people like that, but come on, it's Tom Tucker. He has past experience, guys. You can't even be mad at me about that. So what we have here, what the CFS is wanting to show, is what we call a positive AO. What the positive AO is, and it's barely positive. I mean, looking at the North Pole, actually, on second thought, I'll get to that in Michael Zimmerman in just a minute, or Mike M actually. your question I'll get to in just a second. So looking at the North Pole, we either get a negative AO or positive AO. So when we have these above average heights in here, that's a negative AO. And when we have below average heights here, we call this a positive AO. When the cold air is over the North Pole, we keep a flat jet stream northern jet that looks something like this. That's an awful circle, but it's not going to really trough anywhere. When we get this high pressure system that wants to set up here, we call this a negative AO. And what tends to happen is it sends this cold air way down. In this case, it would be in the east, but this looks like a slightly negative AO. Again, don't really know what this model's talking about. This is classic negative AO look with the high pressure going through the whole thing here. So I don't really understand here what we're looking at. And that's pretty typical with this model, and it's not very accurate either. So you see these high pressure systems up here. Yeah, don't really know. But our air is certainly held up there. See these warm anomalies? This would usually kick the cold air way down. So doesn't make a lot of sense at all. I mean, they're coming around though. CFS is starting to bend towards my forecast. Boston will get a ton of snow this year. Tennessee is getting their first frost night. That's cool, man. Very cold. What expected for Wisconsin? Very cold conditions. Yeah, most free models aren't really accurate. We use I mean, you can obviously use the Euro if you know how to. Use it in this kind of format where you're kind of limited. If you know how to use it this way, then you can be really successful. I recommend buying weathermodels.com subscription. Excuse me, a weathermodels.com subscription. If you wanted access to the European, that'd be your best bet. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, by the way, you should. I do a lot of live streams like this, as well as seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, all sorts of stuff. So, highly recommend it if you're into that type of thing. Yeah, very cold. Mike Carguru. That's so hard to say. Yeah, I've been very cold in the east. Storm 101. The metro area in NC should see frost Monday morning. LOL. Tom Tucker, I would definitely fangirl out if you subscribe to my channel. Not gonna lie. Definitely. Anyway, we're kind of getting here to the end of this video. I've run out of things to talk about on my itinerary. Yeah, we're about to see Tom Tucker subscribe, I think, guys. He said he would. We're about to see that. We're about to see that 12,935 35th subscription coming, guys. Oh, 2. What in the world? Tom Tucker. Did Trisha Takanawa, or whatever her name is, subscribe to? Trisha Takanawa. I got my one Frost Thursday night and this Wednesday night. Sweet. Thanks, Mike. When will it snow for the first time in South Boston? Yeah, I think looking early December for you guys. Random Craft 707. Can't believe I've been through the whole stream. Me either, man. I appreciate it. When will NC see the first teens? Okay, so I think, I think for the mountains, probably late November, maybe even sooner. But for anywhere east of there, I think you're looking at, December or January even. Yes. If Peter Griffin's my favorite weather model, to be honest. I actually just copy Peter Griffin's forecast every time to make my forecasts. So you heard it here first. And he unsubscribed. Peter Griffin unsubscribed. Stream payback. Nice. Michael Zimmerman, when do I expect my first flakes of the season in Lebanon, PA? I think soon. Honestly, if we're talking about the same Lebanon, are you talking north central Pennsylvania? If you're talking north central Pennsylvania, I think possibly before November, but like the first half of November at the latest, I think. Random Craft, can we chat sports for now? Sure. I love talking sports. If you want to throw sports stuff in there, do it. By the way, guys, I like Boston sports, so Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, Boston College is my college team, unfortunately. I know. Disappointing. I was so sad that they lost to Toronto. That was really aggravating, to say the least. Barely beat the Knicks. Couldn't believe it. So I'm looking at scores right now. So if you guys are leaving comments, I can't see it. I really like Ohio State. They lost to Purdue. Absolute shocker. At least I don't like college sports that much. That's the good news. So yeah, Dodgers is definitely the matchup I wanted for my Red Sox. Brewers were a little bit more scary in my opinion, so I feel better about the Dodgers for sure. And honestly, I think the Astros were a better team than either the Dodgers or the Brewers. I think everybody can agree on that. So it's basically the Red Sox need to not choke it away. That's what it is. Can they win this series that they're supposed to win? I think Mississippi will have an above average chance at snow this year. Alex Sharp. Is Upper Tennessee's winner going to be like 2014, 2015? Yes, I think so. Honestly, I think that the Red Sox are going to win the World Series, even though I'm not a Red Sox fan. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't want to say anything. Will there be a lot of snow in Salt Lake City Rockies by late December? I think most of your snow is going to come before mid December, and then things are going to really move towards the east, being more active, and then everything's going to get kind of quiet for the Rockies, unfortunately for you. North Shore, Massachusetts here. When should we expect our first snow? All right, I think I think that yeah, I think by late November you will have seen your first snow for sure. Michael Zimmerman, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know how much snow you got, Alex Sharp, last year, but I think above average. That's all I can say. Uh, MG, MPG, or MP got Milk Boy. Is Boston going to be like 2014, 2015? No, I think that you can expect a lot of snow, a lot more than your average, but it's not going to be as snowy as that year. That you broke records that year, and that's not going to happen again. Um, yeah, I just don't like New York sports teams at all. They grind my gears. Um, I don't like cities with two different sports teams per sport. I don't know why, but I feel like having your fan base split in half must just suck. That's why I'm glad Boston is like. That's why I think Boston's like the best sports city besides having the most championships. I don't like AccuWeather's um in the Weather Channel. I don't like their seasonal forecasting now. Do you think Rhode Island will see more snow than last year? Yeah, I do think so for sure. Do you live in Canada? No, I live in Virginia. James, yeah, I love Boston sports. I get so spoiled. I'm like so mad when one of them loses at all, and we're just all so spoiled. Yeah, AccuWeather is kind of trash, like Jacob said. By the way, what's up, Jacob Thome? Uh, but yeah, they're kind of known. An article came out that said they were like hiding information from the National Weather Service, which is just trashy in general. Tesla, Alex Sharp. I love Teslas. Yeah, I know a lot more individuals that are better at seasonal forecasting than weather companies. Yeah, like AccuWeather. Hold on. I'll show you guys what I feel about AccuWeather. Yeah. Well, Jacob, then that's a lot different than how I interpreted it. I'm probably wrong, by the way, because I briefly went over read that article that I saw in Association of Weather Enthusiasts. So, but yeah, that's just as trashy, if not more trashy. That's some like Madden type stuff, like how Madden is the only NFL game you can play. They tried to patent weather. I can't believe it. So here's how I feel about AccuWeather's long range forecast that you guys were speaking of. Here's the big problem I have with it. For the first like 14 days, okay, so they're calling for stuff. They're actually forecasting things. I'm not saying it's accurate or not. They're actually trying. But you can. There's always a certain point you can see where they just kind of like call for the average and then like randomly we'll have like a spike or something. But yeah, really 50s, 40s, super generalized stuff. Um, so yeah, super generalized, not really forecasting much here. Yeah, just all over the place. Do you think South Mid Atlantic and East Coast will see big snowstorm like the one from December 2017, Winter Storm Benji? No, I don't think so. What about Columbus, Ohio winter? I think you're gonna have a below average temperature winter, but not necessarily above average snow. I have ad blocker. I know. I'm such an internet sinner. I don't even feel bad about using an ad blocker on AccuWeather though. To be honest, after everything we know, like, do they deserve that advertisement money? Michael Zimmerman, I'm sure it's possible. I don't know if that's above your average or below your average, but I think that's below your average, so I think it's likely. No, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm just a weather enthusiast. The big weather companies show over exaggerate everything as a way to make bank for the networks. Let's over sensationalize everything when 2 minute rain showers turns into a life threatening event. Yeah, essentially, yeah. Sometimes they just don't do that, and then sometimes it really feels like they are overhyping it. So it really varies. Hmm. What type of winter would Tennessee possibly get? Probably above average chance at seeing snowfall and below average temperatures. Do you think Tennessee could get 6 inches of snow or more this year? It has happened a couple of winters. I can't really say. I think Delaware will have above average snowfall and below average temperatures. So Yeah, Alex Sharp, if you want to go to college for meteorologist, I mean, chase your dreams, man. Chase your dreams. Yeah, and definitely reach out to Jacob. Like he said, he's a good friend of mine. So, and he's going to school, so he could help you more on the matter. Storm 101, I can't do that because that's a little bit too specific and it can't really be forecasted long range, unfortunately. But I plan on forecasting every snowstorm, or at least trying to. So, does Delaware have a good chance for White Christmas? I wouldn't say a good chance. There's a possibility, or more possibility than most years, I think. But Alex Sharp, well, don't have that mentality, man. About I'm just in middle school. When me and Jacob started this stuff, like weather stuff, we were in middle school too. So it's all about just chasing your dream, bro. You keep putting it behind you, it's gonna time's gonna catch up with you, and then it'll be too late. The YouTuber Hurricane and Winter Weather Tracker. Do you agree with his forecast? Is that his name? How do you say that? I've never heard of him. I don't think. Um, Again, random craft. Can you confirm that that's his name? I will search it up. So I think you'll repeat. I think that it will be another winner similar to that one. Okay, Hurricane and Winter Tracker. Let's see here. Um, I hate how like people will be in the comments and tell him what he should change in his forecast because obviously this person lives there and wants it to be cold and snowy. So he's kind of just like upset about that. I love it when people when people comment stuff like that with no reason. Just like you should definitely make North Texas in the winter battle zone because it's definitely not going to be dry and warm. Uh, Silver Ghost, I think sometime in November. So I'm gonna break down. Okay, so he's talking about the El Nino. How old is this person?
Now, normally with an El Nino, this whole region right on the equatorial line right here would be above the long-term average. Now, where do we see most of this concentrated? Most of the warmth? I'm going to go ahead.
Okay, so it's not a kid, I don't think. let's see. So precipitation forecast. Anytime I see way above average, I'm kind of weary of that. Also, so let's break it down a little bit here. I don't want to rip this person. Hopefully they don't watch my videos. Well, hopefully they do. They can get constructive criticism here. Not saying that I'm better than them or whatever. So this right here, how it does this isn't really scientific. I don't really understand that. Also, just having like above average temperatures in the south and below average temperatures in the north, very unlikely. I don't really know what this jet stream would look like. Like this. I don't know. I don't know what this person's calling for. So this doesn't really look very scientific to me, or even possible for that matter. Okay, so it looks like he's calling for this portion to be below average because it's earlier in the winter. It's going to be below average there. And then cold and snowy in these regions. I'm guessing later. Cold and dry. Yeah, winter battle zone. Not bad. Warmer than normal. Severe thunderstorm risk. Warmer and more dry. I mean, I could nitpick a few things. Yeah, that's a good point, Jacob.
Final one. Since at this point, you guys, I moved it from the 5th of November day. This was yesterday. I lied. Sorry. As of yesterday, have what's the color? Okay. This was the ENSO anomalies, surface temperature anomalies, parting from average. And when we look at
so
region, we're going to break
early on, I think.
Look within this area, okay?
Yeah, this looks like the typical clickbaity weather video. You know, on a temperature forecast saying polar vortex prone areas. And really, I think I get what he's trying to say. Early on here, later on here, but really it would average out in the middle here. So I would agree a lot more if he just kept this more rounded off looking. Instead of having it all over the place, because it probably won't look like that. But besides that, I mean, I can't really say. I want to listen to what he says here on this precipitation forecast, though. I mean, temperature forecast. Or I'll start in a precipitation forecast. Okay, so he is right about this. Though it probably will be a bit further east than there, it looks like now. But
the jet stream goes, also notice that we already have some cooling up here in the Arctic. Another thing we'll have to
I'll go over MG. I'll go look at MGBC combos and then David. I'll look at David's too.
Well, enough with that. You can also see that Molokai Island still looks likely, in my opinion. Moving on from there, 2018-2019 winter predictions. Now, as far as this outlook goes, the forecast confidence, I would give it about an 80 to 90%. So it's looking like this is pretty likely.
Well, Michael, just wait for the winter to be over before you say whose forecast is better. You know, like you gotta let the whole thing happen. I'm just saying why I disagree with these.
Your storms down here, your mixture of rain, snow, ice, what have you. I think that a lot of times this year we could also have situations where we have rain along the coast and the snow is pushed inland more. We'll just have to see how that plays out. That's just my thought process. Also, I think that with our northern jet stream, again, playing that vital role and then meeting up over here, we could have these lows over here that spark off of the Rockies, produce snowfall over here. So I think snowfall over here could be a slightly above average. Well, and that's already looking predominant too, and I'll show you that here in a few slides. As far as temperature goes,
Tom Tucker, no.
As solid as the previous forecast confidence. This is more like 70 to 80% in that realm. But you can see slightly below norm or below average, way below average, and then in this purple is where areas more likely you're going to see the polar vortex slip down and really affect you. In the yellow, you're looking at slightly above average. So compare, previous slide. It's not going to work. This slide and this slide.
Perspective weather. Southeastern Virginia going to see more snow than average this year? I think so.
Trying to determine really where the snowiest spots are going to be. And if you can't do that, well, I have it right here. The overall image is 2018-2019 winter season.
Yeah, I guess I don't really disagree with this forecast too much. I think, yeah, again, if he just kept these temperatures more rounded off, like let's say the blue is just in this zone, then I would definitely agree with it a lot more. So that's how small of a nitpick I have here. Do you want to take a look at mine forecast out of 10 tonight? I'm just curious because I want mine to be as accurate as yours. Yeah, I'll take a look in a second. I don't know what Spectro weather. I'm subscribed to them, so somehow.
Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here.
Oh, Paul Dorian, yeah. Yeah, I definitely respect him a lot. Talking about solar minimum, blocking. I don't think there will be a lot of blocking this year, so I'll have to see. Okay, yeah. So I agree with his forecast a lot. I can already tell just from looking at the images. These precipitation analogs, temperature analogs, I definitely agree with it. I don't know about having 2009, 2010 in there. And again, I'd have more years like 2014, 2015. But yeah, certainly me and him are probably on the same page here. So yes, I give an A+ in my opinion. I didn't even. I think I spelled it wrong when I searched it up one time. So I need to go up. Where the heck was it? Yeah, I am getting pretty close to 13,000. Wow. Okay. Blake Trotter, I've already seen Weather Decoded's winter forecast. What the heck? Look, I'm just gonna do. Screw it, man. Yeah. I hate the new algorithm or whatever YouTube uses. Like, it's not the most popular video that gets up there. It's the most recently popular. So if I did like winter forecast 2018, 2019, like the exact name of one of my videos, it's actually going to be like whichever one's most popular at the time being. I don't know. Okay. MGBC combo. So again, this is like, take this with a grain of salt because I'm not going to be able to watch the whole video and like listen to everything he has to say because he probably has like good reasons. And like I respect him a lot, so right off the bat, XX Gamer guy. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. This is kind of like this is a weenie picture for sure. It's been floating around since when was it, like 2009, 2010? That's been floating around, so that's kind of weenie-ish. So he's just showing 2009, 2010. So the only problem I have is he didn't really make a temperature or precipitation forecast. And yeah, blizzards for all the way down to Virginia. Don't know how I feel about that. Do not know. Very cold in Florida. I doubt that. I think he means below average, like very cold compared to average. So that's possible. This isn't my forecast, Josh Melvin. Just want you to know that. I'm looking at other people's. So yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that. I definitely like his medium range stuff a lot more. Yeah, one more. Oh, and then what was it? Weather 101 or Storm 101. You wanted me to look at yours? I will. So I'm gonna look for David's winter forecast here. Oh, okay, good. I've already seen this. So yeah, again, like I've known of David for quite a while and MGBC combo for a long time as well. He told me he's gonna make a new winter forecast tomorrow. Actually, because he actually didn't make his own maps here, so he didn't really make a forecast here. He just kind of talked about stuff, but he didn't build a map. I don't believe. Yeah. Okay. So he didn't build a map, so we're not gonna know if I agree with him or not. So yeah. Well, enough of that. We're talking about a lot of other people's channels. I don't want somebody to be mad at me or anything. So probably a bad idea in the first place. So yeah. Anyway, guys, we went over 12 a.m. We're into Sunday. So yeah, guys. I think I'm going to end this one here. Thanks everybody for, being a part of the stream. This one's been probably my best stream of all time, as far as viewership and interactions here. So it just keeps getting better, guys. And it's really you guys, everybody staying active in the stream. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being part of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Storm 101. Almost forgot. I'm going to watch Weather 101's first. Holy crap, direct weather streaming? Storm. I keep calling you Weather 101. Storm 101. I will watch it. Uh, 2014 to 2015, Daniel. A little bit of advice with YouTube's algorithm: if you keep the video closer to 10 minutes, you'll get a lot more views. Also, like the viewer retention. People usually won't stay in a video for that long. Good idea having the forecast in the beginning of the video before. Yeah, good move. Yeah, equal chances. It's smart to use that type of forecasting, equal chances, instead of saying average, because it's a lot easier. And if you get it wrong, you can always fall back on like, oh, well, I said equal chances, so it could have gone either way. I actually will say average, just because I like to be a little bit more specific, but I certainly respect that. I can't necessarily disagree with this. So yeah. So far, so good. Okay, wait. Light blue, way above average. Just say EC for a whole USA. Oh, you will never be wrong. That is a great point. Light blue, slightly above average. Yeah, I can't really disagree with any of this. I like this. This is kind of what I might be moving towards with my forecast. Some of these central regions, I'm thinking they might be dry. Just I don't think it enough to put it in my forecast, but I really think there's a good chance that pans out. And is that question mark, I guess, for Southwest? I hope Storm 101 didn't leave. That have sucked. Let me know if you're still here. I hope you are. I don't want you to think that I didn't forgot about you. I almost did. Gamer guy, we're not getting okay, cool. Storm 101. Yeah, I think the El Nino is going to continue to increase back into El Nino status, but a neutral winter would be better. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so below average snowfall where it was drier, obviously. Above average snowfall for these regions. Yeah, and the good news about these regions, it's really easy to get above average snowfall. All you need is like an inch. Oh, for that small area. I really think that it could possibly be slightly above average precipitation. Um, I'm certainly really close to saying that, but I think I mentioned that in my previous winter forecast that it's possible, but for right now, I don't. I'm not confident enough to slide that in there. Snowfall map, can't disagree. I think some of these inland portions, and obviously, like I don't want your forecast to be mine, so I'm just telling you where I disagree. But don't change your forecast just because I disagree. Uh, I think, well, I think this area in here, I would like cut that out just because, and I really don't even think um, anywhere inside this circle will have above average snowfall, just because we're gonna really see a lot of that moisture coming around, uh, according to my forecast. And this area is gonna be really, really cold, in my opinion. It's just the moisture is really gonna go around it, so I think that's why it's gonna be drier. Let's see. You guys can tell I'm getting really tired, probably. Okay, and then you just get into reasoning. So yeah, I'll give that one an A plus. Can't really disagree anywhere, for the most part. How would neutral be better? Just a lot of times they are. Like 2013 to 2014 was really good, but the El Nino sided neutral winners, which is like an above average, but considered in the spectrum of neutral, those winners tend to be pretty good. Oh, so somewhere in between that and a weak El Nino would be really good. So yeah, Storm 101. I hope. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, for your channel, man, just keep consistently uploading, bro. Like you got 68 views, so you got to start. And I mean, you got 68 subscribers, so you got a good foundation. Like I said, 2 months ago, I had 300 subscribers. So in 2 months, if you create really good content, like you could, grow by that extreme of an amount. If I could, you can. You know what I mean? So it's certainly possible. You just got to stay on top of it and be thankful for every subscriber you get. If we got an El Nino Mordecai, it would pretty much look like my forecast. You're welcome. Denver barely had 20 inches of snow last year. Yeah. Uh, so we've been in a positive PDO phase, and it's going to go negative pretty soon. But that's really what's been causing cold and snowy winters in the east and more mild winters in the west. But that's going to flip pretty soon here, actually. So El Nino probably won't get too strong at all. Probably won't even cross into moderate territory. Well, anyway, I'm about to go, guys, because I am tired. This has probably been the craziest live stream ever for me so far. Yeah, I think 2014 and 2015 was the last one, I think. Yeah. 2009 to 2010 was the most classic Mordecai El Nino, though. Snow, I'll take rain in Southern California. Yeah, you also get that. You also get a lot of precipitation for California and those negative PDO winters. Less blocking to get in the way, so it's really why it's been dry there for so long. Me of you, yeah, man. I've been missing you. Got to get you in those early streams, bro. Like, just be checking, man. You'll hit them. Random Craft. Yeah. Yeah, the 59 of you that are still here just like listening to me ramble on, you guys are like the real ones. Yeah, how is Black Ops 4, Master Chief? I want to get Red Dead Redemption 2. That's like the next thing I'm going to splurge on. Because I'm a big fan of Rockstar games, like Grand Theft Autos and Red Dead Redemption 1. So, do you have my post notifications on? Do you think maybe that would help? Me of you. There'd be a lot of snow for North Carolina. I think so. In the regions that usually see snow, I think you'll see a lot more. Mike M. Well, thanks for the show. Very interesting. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. What system do you play on? I play on Xbox. If you play on Xbox One, you can add me. My gamer tag is, if you play Fortnite or anything, that's my gamer tag. Again, Xbox One. Let's be real. Nobody's better at Fortnite than me. I spend most of my time doing this weather stuff anyway, so. Isn't it like Extreme Payback? Isn't it cross-compatible now, though? Oh, we're not talking about Fortnite, are we? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely worth it. We do a lot of live streams like this, a lot of interactive stuff, as well as seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, other sorts of forecasts. So definitely check that out. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. I'm sure most of you have already subscribed anyway, if you hadn't already before the stream anyway. But yeah, we're going to have to end this one. It's so late. I hate to end this one. It's been such a good conversation. Anyway, probably no stream tomorrow, guys, but the day after I'm going to try to for sure. Anyway, see you guys later.